Hello there, and I have a special day today. Um, I changed my name legally, so I am now actually called Laura. It's not a pretense anymore. It's you know, in before today, I was going out dressed as Laura, but my name was still a guy name. Today, my name is a girl name now, and that's special. That's it's a new identity, a new me, literally a new me, so to speak. Um, that the old me, the boy me, is gone as an identity, as a name. Now there's a girl me, and that's special. It means a lot. Um, so so what happened? I changed my name by deed poll. This is a system that works in the UK, and it costs nothing. A lot of people seem to think that changing your name requires you having to register with the court and things like that. You don't. You don't. You can write your own document effectively, and that's what I did. Although a mistake was made. So originally, what happened was that I thought that I could write my own document, and so what you need to do is you say, I new name, giving up my old name, and I will forever now, from now on onwards, will call myself use my new name. And then you have 4 signatures. So I sign my new name, I sign away my old name, and then I have 2 witnesses who act as witnesses, a bit like a marriage, as you'd need 2 witnesses. And then once that's done, I now have a document. And unlike something like marriages, you got to get a marriage license, you got to get permission, effectively. I don't need permission to change my name. Anyone can do it. You just go to you go to your bank, you write your document, you get the people to sign it, and then you go to your bank or insurance, the doctors, etc. You go to all these people, your landlord, the dentist, anybody who holds records on you, and you're basically saying, I've changed my name, you need to change your records to reflect that. They don't get a choice. Now, some things do change. Like, for example, my passport. Now, I bought a passport to go to the Jade Memorial, and that, because of this document, that is null and void now. That is a waste of paper now. Because I've now changed my name, and that's a legal document that allows me to, the government says this person is a resident of the UK, and they, have the right, or thanks to this piece of booklet, the right to travel to another country, and they're registered as a British citizen as a part of that. Well, the change here is that, because I've now got a new name, that passport with my old name on needs to be replaced. And, but I'm still M in the sex classification under that. Now, so unfortunately, I made a bit of a mistake on the original document. I thought that you just needed 2 people to witness the document, being signed. So what happened was, I had my friend Fiona, who I love dearly, and I thought, I really wanted her to be my first witness. So I created the document, I sent it up to her to sign, and then the day before yesterday, over the webcam, she saw me sign my girl name, my new name. And then yesterday, I went to see another friend who happens to be a paralegal, and sort of with the idea is she'll see me right away, sign away my old boy name, and then she would sign it, and there you go, that becomes legal. Yes, not quite. So the first one is that I backdated it to reflect my birthday, because I thought that would work better. But she says that you can't do that. So that was the first one. The second one is the original document had like witness 1 and witness 2. And because it says and, you need both witnesses there at the same time. So it's a bit like Superman 3. Was it Superman 3? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, Superman 3. It's the one with Gus Gorman. Forgot his name now. Richard Pryor. Where you've got to put both keys in at the same time. It's something like that. So unless I was going to drag Fiona down from Scotland and my friend, here in Manchester, it wasn't, we needed both at the same time. Unfortunately, that couldn't happen. So yesterday I was kind of depressed because I left there, I went there with the hope that I was going to be changing my name and ended up being denied. And, today it was signed by, it was done today. So my friend Wednesday, her name is, she went and wrote a new document and then, just let gaps for the date and, the various witnesses and things like that. So all the bits were signed. And then, and what it says here, and I'm not going to give you all my name, but it says, this deed made this 24th of January 2019 by Laura Jade, formerly known. I declare that I have changed my name and wish to renounce my former name. Before I changed my name to Laura, my name was David. That I absolutely renounce the use of my former name of David and determined to assume and use the name Laura in its place. I declare that I shall at all times from now on in all documents, records, deeds, actions, proceedings, and all my dealings and transactions on all occasions will use the name Laura. And as my name in place of my former name, David, I hereby authorize and require everyone to refer to me and to address me by my new name of Laura. Signed as a deed by the said Laura, formerly known as David. And then I've got the signatures in the presence of the people, and it was basically my friend Wednesday and a secretary where she works. So this is legal now. I now have documents that I can take to the bank tomorrow, and I'll be getting, a new card with my new name on it and all the data. So whenever any letters come, they come to Laura. But I did a couple of things that were special as well. So because Fiona couldn't be there and because Fiona couldn't be the witness, because, like I say, it would be unfair, impractical to drag her all the way down. And I didn't want to delay it. And, I spoke to her in text last night. So what I did was I took one of the little jade cats that she made and I kept it in my bag, in my purse. So, a bit of Fiona was there, shall we say. And then I painted my nails in jade because, my middle name is Jade after our friend Jade. So like I say, I painted my names. They're like gems. I tried to make them look like gems. This is the bad hand. This is the better hand because, of course, I'm right-handed. And I wanted to make them look like, like you get a ruby or something like that, where the way the light blends over it. So I thought I'd do that. Thought it looks quite nice. And then also Jade's friend Ellen, I decided to wear a lipstick that she sent to me. And this is a really wacky lipstick. So this is the lipstick I'm wearing. And you think, okay, it's a red. The camera doesn't show it very well. It's actually a sort of pinky. Excuse me. It's a kind of pinky color. But you'd be amazed what color this is inside, because it's actually orange. But when you put it on, if you watch, when you put it on, it turns pink. So it's an interesting one. So I decided to, I thought Ellen would want to not so much be a part of it, but, I thought to make her special, because she hasn't been able to see all this. She's on holiday right now. So I haven't been able to chat to her for a few weeks. I decided that, sort of kind of take a bit of her with me, so to speak. So, yeah, my name is now Laura, legally. And it's amazingly liberating. It really is. Because this is an identity thing. Yesterday, so for example, let's say I'm dressed like this and I go for a bike ride, and it's dark at this time of year, early. So I've got my cycle helmet on, and I've got a flat light at the back of my helmet. Now, let's say that the light, I press the button, expecting the light to come on and start flashing, and it didn't come on for some reason. The battery ran out. Who knows? If the police stopped me, even though I look like this, I would have had to, and they asked me my name, I would have had to tell them my name was actually David. But tomorrow, if the same thing happens, my name will legally be Laura. And even if, I don't do this, but, occasionally I have to, if I run out of electricity or I need to go out, just urgently, because this takes a couple of hours to chuck on this makeup and everything. So if I need to go out in a hurry and I haven't got time to do all the makeup, running out of gas, running out of electric, whatever, because I've got an electric key thing. It's a prepayment meter. So so if I need to go out in a hurry, chucking some guy clothes on, because unless I put all the makeup on, I look like a guy in a wig and a frock, which is kind of distressing, really. So I can chuck guy clothes on. Well, if the same thing happened and the police stopped me, and they asked me my name would be Laura then too. So it's, like I say, it's kind of liberating to know that no matter what, my name is Laura. And again, it's an identity thing. I've got a long process of, the transition. It's gonna, being, it's not a pretense anymore. I am being the person I want to be, in name, literally in name. So, and why did this come out? Well, there's a document that I found on the internet. I'm just loading it up, and it's called Mascara and Hope. I put a link underneath. It's actually quite comical, and it's called "Oh for Fuck's Sake: Navigating the Frustration of Medical Transition for Trans Women in the UK." And it sort of explains how, about surviving on mascara and hope, because, you mascara and hoping one day, that, because unfortunately, the transition is very lengthy. There aren't enough gender identity clinics for the amount of people that want their assistance under the NHS. You can do it privately, and that speeds things up significantly, but it's going to take a lot of time. And the first part is, so on the 13th of February, I'm going to have a phone call from the Gender Identity Clinic, and they're going to do a pre-screening kind of thing. So they're going to do a screening call. So basically, it's get rid of the time wasters. So they'll ask me some questions, and then it will be, okay, we're going to book you in for your first appointment. And that first appointment is going to be 11 months away, or 12 months away, or 13 months away. It can depend, it can vary. So I've got a lot of a wait. And at the moment, underneath all the makeup and the wig and the clothes and everything, my body is still a guy. I'm not able to transition until I get hormones or anything. That's when the physical changes will happen. And then surgery can come much later. But, so the first part is to get that first appointment, and they ask you questions, and then they'll say, yep, okay, come back in 5 months' time, or 6 months' time, or 8 months' time, or whatever it is. Then you get your second appointment. Usually on the second appointment, then you get hormones. So, and the thing you have to bear in mind is the transition teams, the gender identity clinic, they're the gatekeepers. They don't want to let someone slip through the system and end up being screwed up in their head and end up jumping off a building or something. they they have an obligation to err on the side of caution. And so that's what's happening. So so the first part it's got, and I'm going to read it out. So it says, so what happened for me, I went to my doctors and asked him to refer to me to a gender identity clinic. But this document says change your name first. So here's what it says. It says name change. Seriously, do this right fucking now. It's super easy and costs nothing. The most difficult part is choosing a good name. The gender identity clinic will use this as proof that your transition has begun. Don't think you're ready for this yet? Don't feel trans enough to make this leap? Don't panic. Loads of us have felt this way. There may not be a great moment when you know that transition is the right thing to do, except perhaps in retrospect. Start doing things that make you feel more comfortable. If shaving your face causes dysphoria, start laser hair removal first. But the gender identity clinic will only acknowledge the name change as the start of your transition. You can either change your name and not tell anyone until you're ready, perfectly understandable, legal, or you can wait until you're ready and then backdate a deed poll, less legal, but no one cares about it. It'd be difficult to prove anyway. Seriously, the gender identity clinic will use the date on your deed poll as the sole proof that you started your transition. And this will start the comically long clock on your 2 years of real life experience. More on that later. This process takes long enough, so go ahead and give yourself a head start on the bullshit. Now, the real life experience thing is you've got to live as your chosen gender for 2 years in order to get a gender recognition certificate. Now, a gender recognition certificate is, you go through the process, and you have like psychological evaluations and medical ones and things like that. And you'll be taking hormones. If you get through to that process, you'll take hormones, and so when you get to that point and you've been diagnosed with gender dysphoria, you can apply for a gender recognition certificate after 2 years of you starting your transition. And what happens is that changes some things. So right now, as I mentioned before, my passport is invalid now. So the one that I had, the one that I have now that worked yesterday doesn't work today because I've changed my name, because it's a legal document that enables me to travel to other countries and be recognized under that guy name. Now that I've got a girl name, and this would be exactly the same if someone was, someone was single and they got married and they took on their husband's name, same would apply. So what happens is they take this. So you got to live for 2 years as your new gender to get the certificate. So once you have the certificate, sorry, I ramble. Okay. For the passport, if I get a new passport now under the name Laura, it'll still have M for male under the gender because I'm still classed as male despite my name. Once I get the gender recognition certificate, then I will be able to get a birth certificate done for my new gender as a female, and then I can go to the passport office, and then that designation could be changed to an F. Now, whether I've had any surgery done or not doesn't make a difference. It would still be, because the gender dysphoria, what's going up here is what is classed as the difference between male or female, what your junk looks like, So and not everybody wants or can have the the reassignment. For example, someone could be too old, and having reassignment could be deadly for them. They could end up getting a general anesthetic and just dying on the table. They you know, they could have other medical issues that could, you know, prevent it. So, you know, not everybody can do it. Another one of the things, they tend not to like giving it to people that are overweight, because, you know, things like blood clots, which are potential hazards, are, you know, on top of someone who's got, you know, blocked arteries and things like that. Again, they could die on the table. So, you know, it's a bit of a problem. Anyway, so it says, so how do I do this? Change your name. It's surprisingly simple. All you need to do is sign a deed poll in the presence of a witness, although the General Identity Clinic prefers 2 witnesses, because fuck you, that's why. A deed poll is free and wonderfully uncomplicated. Just search for it on Google, fill in the form, print it out, get your friends to sign it. That's all there is to it. Now you need to show. Now you show that deed to banks, universities, passport office, etc. They'll all acknowledge it. Don't be tricked into paying for a deed poll. You can use an online form or write your own. Check the Wikipedia page on it. Also, statutory declarations are a waste of time. This feels like a big step. Try not to worry too hard about it, but do try and pick out a good name. There'll be a temptation to use something wonderfully unique and special, but the ability to blend in is occasionally useful. Yes, we realize this is problematic, but the name Sparkle Femmerbutt will only be cute for a month or 2. If you must, make your middle name unique so that you can at least hide it if you must. Also, try not to be culturally appropriative, you filthy weeaboo. Still not sure about that name to pick? Roll a dice. About 80% of trans women pick the names Emily, Zoe, or Amy. So you've taken your first step in transland, and I bet you're feeling pretty pleased with yourself. Well, fuck you. This is what the Gender Identity Clinic says. They don't care that you're ready. Now you have to spend the next 2.5 years convincing them that no, this isn't a phase. Changing your name should take no more than an afternoon. Now it's the next day, and you're all fresh-faced from being born anew, which is kind of what's happening for me. Rather than submitting a copy of your deed poll to everyone, it's easier and significantly less stressful to wait until any organisation contacts you with your old name, and you can just inform them of the change in circumstances. The only 3 exceptions which may require a proactive approach are your bank, the DVLA, that's the driving licence people, and the passport office. Your bank won't change your name, change the name on your account without a copy of the deed poll and a new photo ID, so get that sorted first. freedeedpoll.org.uk does the trick, but there are other sites out there if this one is down or not to your tastes. So, like I say, that was basically what happened there. So I've now properly, legally changed my name, and it was quite interesting because, you know, my friend, when, you know, she finished signing the last piece, she said, "Congratulations, it's a girl," and which made me laugh, of course, you know, and it was charming and you know, fun. And so, you know, I said my goodbye and I stepped out into the cold weather, and I was covered in a warm glow. You know, I felt wonderful. I had a big smile on my face. You know, and exactly like it says, born anew. You know, I was born again, to use the religious phrase. You know, it just felt so wonderful. And, you know, again, I walked in, you know, with the name of a guy, and I walked out with the name of a girl, and it's legal. It's legal tender now, as they say when it's passing money. You know, so it was really quite amazing. And so I walked. Now, yesterday, I went to Boots, which is a place that did cosmetics and things like that. And you know, I chat to a number of the ladies there. I get ideas on makeup and things like that, and they're all incredibly kind to me and very supportive. You know, and they've watched me develop new skills with makeup and, you know, things like that, and they, you know, they can see the difference in me. You know, so and they all, you know, they all think I've got you know, I got a real talent for doing makeup. I seem to just have a knack for it. So that's wonderful. And of course, all these things, they're all extra points. If you watch my coming out video towards the end, I explained that, you know, I've got a new coping strategy for sort of positive and negative stuff. So the idea is that everything positive that comes out of it, I consider as points. So, for example, I went to see my dietitian because I'm losing some weight. In 3 weeks, I lost 5 pounds. So I'd seen her a couple of 3 weeks before as a guy, and the reason I went as a guy was because I wasn't sure what's going to happen. When I go in, you got to type on a keyboard thing, and then it'll, when my appointment's ready, it'll ping on a screen. And I didn't want my boy name to appear on the screen and me get up as a girl, because that outs me immediately. So I sort of so I asked them when I was there that time as a guy, and I said, look, is there any way that the screen can not do that? And they said, well, we can't really change that until you change your name. I know, because I told them I was going to be doing it. And they said, we can't change the computer until you've changed your name. However, what we can do is, rather than have it go on the screen, we can just call you by name, and just use girl name. That's fine. So the next time I went, which was on Friday, I went as Laura, as myself, and so there was a guy before me, and when the lady came, the dietitian came out, she saw me and she was like, oh, hi, kind of thing. And then when it was my turn to go in, she said, wow, you look amazing. Well, of course, all the points tumble on there. That's like, 50 points, 100 points, and just keep pounding on every time she gives me a compliment and, says that I look nice. And, and of course, I'm so much more vibrant as a girl. I'm more, I display my emotions better, and, I sort of wave my hands around more. I'm much more confident about myself like this. And so, just, and I'd lost weight as well. Yay, even better. So, all these points add up. And it can be something, it can be big things like that, but it can also be just, last week someone was walking across the road the opposite direction as I'm crossing, and she looked up at me and I smiled and she smiled back. There's a point. You add all those up and it's all positive energy, all positive energy points. But then I might get some idiot who yells abuse at me across the street. Well, that gives me a downer, and all right, I lose 200 points. But I'm in positive territory. So there's the idea, the coping strategy that goes with it. So, one of the ladies that I spoke to yesterday, I was a bit glum, and chatting about makeup stuff cheered me up a little bit, but I was still a little bit down. And she said, come back tomorrow. And so I did. I went today, and I was dumbstruck. I couldn't speak. I sort of said, yep, I changed it. And it's like, how do you feel? And I was lost for words. And if you know anything about me being lost for words is not something that happens frequently. I'm very good at talking. Bob Hoskins is my patron saint. Old TV advert. It's good to talk. So, I was just lost for words, and it took a little while for me to, to sort of get it out there. Like I say, because this is a change of identity, and it's not a name that's forced on me or anything. This is a name I chose, and I chose my name. And I used Jade because she was important to me. She adopted me as a daughter at one point, because I was saying that, I wish my mum accepted me. Wish I had a mum kind of thing who accepted me. And she said, I'll be your mum. And so, Jade was mama to lots of people, but, it was a special place in my heart. And so, like I say, when it came to reading that document, suddenly I've got to pick a name. I've got to pick a middle name, because I can't just like keep changing it on a whim. It's like, okay, let's do it properly. Have some serious thoughts about this. So what I did was I went on the internet, and I went through, baby names 1974, baby girl names, and went through a list. And you're going through, Jennifer, Laureen, Chloe, scrolling on and on and on. And then I got to 54 and it said Jade. And I went, oh my gosh, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect, because one of the things that happens in my society, I don't know if it happens in many other places, but frequently the middle name of a child is a parent or grandparent, to sort of honor the passing of the generations and, passing the name down. And so her adopting me as a daughter, um, sort of, it seemed appropriate. Now, I wasn't going to steal the name. I asked Ellen, I asked Fiona, I asked some other people, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, that's just perfect." Someone said that they had, they got a tear in their eye. Ellen, who was about to go on holiday, she said she had goosebumps, and it was absolutely perfect. So, it was wonderful, to pick that name. So, and it just felt so right. It felt so appropriate. And, my joke is that, I don't just keep Jade in my heart, I keep her in my wallet as well. Because, it'll be Laura J, you know. Um, that's brilliant, And Ellen, she's spiritual. She said, that Jade is, looking down and happy for me, that kind of thing, honored, and, and, I don't believe in such things, but, I would hope that if she was alive, she would be honored. I think that would be wonderful. So, yeah, I'm halfway through my second glass of wine to celebrate my new name, my naming day. And this is quite a nice one. I bought a cherry, a sparkling cherry. I didn't realize it was sparkling at first, but a cherry spritz. And it's not too heavy. It's only 5.5 volume, which is good. I don't drink very much. So, yeah, that's my news, and it's brilliant. So tomorrow I will be getting up early, and I will be going to the doctors and going to the council and my landlord, and I'll be contacting some other people over the phone. I'll be scanning the documents so that I can email it off. I may have to mail it to some people. And, so all these things are going to change. And just to give you an idea of what this kind of thing can mean. So there's a card that you can get for Boots. So I buy cosmetics there. I buy makeup. And when you go, you can get points. It's like air miles. So I went down there. I signed, Miss Laura Jade, and then through the post, a few weeks later, came the card, and the address on it is my address with Laura written on it. This is an official letter from a company, with my girl name on it, and it brought a tear to my eye, and my heart leaped. And of course, now I'm going to get all these things, all the notifications saying yes, your change of name has been recognized, in paperwork sense. So I'll be getting new council tax information, stuff. I'll be getting, a new bank card with Laura written on it. So, all these changes going on, it's just adding extra, extra weight to the new identity that I'm doing. So that's where I am right now, and it's wonderful. It really, really is. So yeah, I you know, the sad thing is that other than the screening appointment that I've got, after that, it's just going to be a long, 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 long wait. And one of the things it says, in fact, I'll read it because it makes sense to do so. So I'll read the GP appointment part because I may go through this document. I might just read it out one day. It's only 40 pages. So, dawn of the second day, GP appointment. Now that you've changed your name, if you haven't yet, go back to page 1 and quit stalling. Just pick up the phone, ask for an appointment with your GP. If you're uncomfortable with your regular family doctor, get a new one. This is just the first step to the GIC, so lower your expectations. Your GP is super important in the official medical transition process. They will refer you to specialist services, much like the feared GIC, and eventually they will be the ones to prescribe you with hormone replacements and monitor your blood levels. More on that later. Now pay attention, this is important. Your GP knows fuck all about transgender stuff. It's up to you to direct them, and they will probably be grateful for this. Go in prepared, give them an easy path to follow, and will make you an easy patient, and they'll love that. Explicitly has to be referred directly to your GIC. You don't need to be referred to a psychiatric assessment first. The new policy states that the referral can be direct. Don't take no for an answer. If they're being shit, ask for a new GP. You're perfectly entitled to this, as they will be with you for much of your journey. You want someone who's cool with all these things. Back out the moment you get some nonsense or bullshit. Allow for a bit of ignorance. Transgender stuff isn't taught at medical school, but don't allow any disrespect or prevarication. This would also be a good time to change your name in the GP records. If a referral is consistent and simple, it will be far less prone to fuck-ups. This referral can take some time, up to 8 months, so keep checking up on it. The GIC will then send you a letter asking if you are sure. Yes, we know this is stupid, but you have to play along for now. And now we play the waiting game. 6 long months. Waiting for your first GIC appointment can be excruciating. There are other things you can be getting on with. Start with laser hair removal, and improving your social network. Social support network is crucial. And what you'll get is you get stars here and there. So the star was 6 long months. It says, now you have 6 to 8 months to sort out your shit, or at least get good at Tekken or whatever. The GIC doesn't care. Bear in mind that 6-8 months is actually 11 or 12 in my case, because this is a couple of years old and the procedure is lengthened. The waiting game sucks. You have finally worked out why you feel dreadful all your life, and now you have to hang around for some poor sod to confirm something you already know. They won't commence treatment, HRT, until they've seen you at least twice. This policy is currently under review. The only way to cope with this is to get a hobby. You're more than just a trans woman. Don't let it define you. The goal of transition occupies so much of your waking life, it's beneficial to have other goals. The more long-term and difficult, the better, as transition will suddenly seem less insurmountable when compared to whatever you want to do. A career thing or an academic thing, etc. We can recommend training to be a Zeppelin pilot, or a neurosurgeon, or a polar explorer, something that can oust gender as the primary concern in your life. Don't watch all the trans film and documentaries. They're both really depressing and don't paint an accurate picture of what a transition can be like. For serious, the majority of trans women don't look near as dreadful. Your trans sister can help show you what it's really like. See page 10. That's something else after. Gently work on your gender presentation, but don't stress too hard on it. Wait until the hormones have had a chance. I mean, this is where I'm fortunate, because I don't look too bad. Other than being very tall, I don't look too bad. And many people say that. They say I look really good, that I've got makeup really good. Now would be a good time to get the old beard taken care of. This is a war of attrition, and the sooner you get it started, the better. We can recommend getting started with laser hair removal, then progressing to electrolysis, and after the laser has stopped working its magic. Never pay full price. Groupon and similar sites will get you about 6 sessions for less than £150 if you have the patience to sit around and keep an eye out for offers. You may feel like you may need more sessions, but see how the first 6 go. Laser hair removal is painful. It can feel like your face is being punched with a fist of needles. A fist covered in needles which have been dipped in lava. Push through it, my darling. Under new policies, the NHS may pay for some LHR. The GIC has apparently just learned that hair removal is painful and humiliating process, so obviously they now fully endorse it. Avoid IPL. It isn't real laser hair removal. It doesn't really work. The efficacy is similar to prayer. Perhaps this is the time to come out. There are thousands of guides on how to do that, written by far more competent and less bitter writers. If you can't come out for whatever reason, at least tell the GIC that you have done, and change into gender-appropriate clothing at the cafe down the road. I couldn't do that. And where was the star on this page? It says, no, seriously, they only test you on whether you'll put up with their shit for 2 years. That's their primary diagnostic tool. Sisters are doing it for themselves. Trans sisters. The single most useful thing to have during this difficult time in your life is a sister. She will provide both practical advice and emotional support, filling the lacuna left by the inadequacy of the GIC. Finding the right one can be troublesome. Be sure to pay this on to a little sister when you're old and wise. A sister is a trans woman who's already underway. It helps if she's a little ahead of you so she can tell you what's to come, but the relationship suffers if she's too far advanced because of ascension. This is people who they go to the transition and then they just sort of leave. They disappear from a community and they move to a different city. And they, everything that happened in their former life, they just ditch, Identifying and auditioning for a sister can be difficult, but hanging out in friendly places online, not trans dating sites for the love of God, and getting in touch with your local queer community or LGBTQA will get you in touch with the right people. A sister is a friend. She'll be there to hold your hand and provide all the hugs you need when shit goes down. She's one of the few people in the world who can generally understand your difficulties and be able to empathize. There are many cis people who are kind and friendly, who are very willing to help, but there's nothing quite like having a person who's undergone the crippling dysphoria to chat to and relate to. The blush-inducing, humiliating thing do the blush-inducing, humiliating thing and ask if they'll help you through. A trans woman who's older than you and much farther along in the process is a trans mother. You will typically find it more difficult to be a close friend with this person as they've ascended beyond the dramas of early transition, hereafter referred to as the drams. You will get a number of offers, but be cautious. The community lacks the bullshit filter it so desperately needs. Not everyone is a fine picture of mental stability exemplified by the authors. As a star, readers may be pleased that the author's tongues can be found deeply embedded in their cheeks. You must hold auditions for a sister. Go out for a coffee or gin. They may turn out to be a good mother, but that's not really what you're looking for. Your sister will be able to help you with gender presentation, practical advice and shopping tips, and feel a little silly. And like you're betraying the queer resistance, but they can be invaluable to your confidence and survival. Awkward side note, you will crush on your sister and try to kiss her, just FYI. That's a weird one. So, I'll just continue reading. It has come to this, appointment 1. If you lower your expectations, they can't hurt you as much. You will be asked irrelevant and insulting questions. You'll be judged on your gender presentation. It is exceptionally unlikely they will recommend hormone replacement therapy until next time. This is a scary time. So much has built up to this point, and you're bound to be worried. However, you need to be prepared for a severe and crushing letdown. The disappointment is ruinous and will lead to sad times if you don't have the appropriate support networks around you. See note on trans sisters. They will spend 45 minutes to an hour chatting about the most irrelevant nonsense, and at the end of it, they won't do anything for you until the second appointment, 5 months down the line. What the fuck, right? Sadly, they will be making judgments about your character and making insulting notes, so it's best to play their game. They will make comments about how you dress, so it can be beneficial to present in a feminine manner. You may not be full-time by this point, and yes, we know how problematic that phrase is, but they don't need to know that. If you're still at the point where the thought of walking down the street presenting as a female terrifies the living fuck out of you, then change at a cafe near the GIC and brave the last few meters. Be strong, little one, it gets easier. Tell them about your deed poll and the positive steps you've been making to find a sister and getting involved in the community. But don't let on too much. Try and stick to what's important. Your appointment is short and there's no time for waffle. That's a problem. I'm a waffler. Explicit, this is in bold. Explicitly state that you are seeking HRT, not bold. Even if you're not entirely sure at this point, it's easier to start the request in motion and stop it later than show hesitation and try and get on it later. Having doubts and concerns is healthy and normal, but not everyone is certain that they're trans from the moment that they were born. Star. And those who are typically saying it as an ego defense. But the GIC is not the place to express and discuss doubts. Have real talk with your sister if you need to. The GIC will offer group sessions and one-to-one counselling, but this is bollocks. Typically, you will become more sure as you progress. Say what you want. HRT, for example. Say why you want HRT, for example. My chest is upsetting and it's silly lacking in boobs. Would be in the quote. They will send you for blood tests after this appointment to establish the baselines for your hormonal levels. Gatekeeper hacks. Lower your expectations even more. Ignore bullshit questions, that's why they're relevant. Don't mention red flags. Go to your sister if you're having real problems that need sorting. Don't give them reasons to delay you. It's shitty. We know it's shitty. We're almost sorry. It's two half-hour slots with up-jump goat temperers to whom unwarranted power to judge your very identity has been given. Do it. Get your hormones in 2 appointments. Quit your moaning. Start your moans. Hormones. Clever. Be utterly certain of this. You will get nothing from your first appointment. Don't go in there expecting help. It won't come. Your task in the first assessment is to get to the second assessment and not raise any red flags. Be explicit in stating that you want the hormones so that they will be ready to say yes on the second time. You could ask to be referred to therapy if you need it. However, it's our opinion that having a good sister is far more beneficial to your mental health. For more on therapy, see page 23. That aside, this appointment will do nothing for you. In the unlikely event that you actually get help and assistance, you, the few, the happy few. The GIC are gatekeepers. They judge whether your gender is genuine enough to deserve treatment. We take umbrage with this. Even if you tick every box and get your script right and schedule, think, why the hell is there a schedule? Contrast how antidepressants are given out. Why did I have to wait until I was over 18 years old and then a year of appointments? Being psychiatrists, the kind folk at the GIC will ask you psych questions, your childhood, parents, sexuality, masturbation, and mental health. Ask them the relevance. State, I don't think that's relevant to my gender identity. I'm here to medically transition to relieve the dysphoria. They'll seek red flags too. Eating disorders, alcoholism, self-harm, drug use. You know, the sort of thing you might turn to in order to relieve the crippling dysphoria. We simplify these things here for comic effect, but you get the point. It's best not to mention any of these things and just say you've got them sorted. Real talk, if you're self-harming or alcohol dependent, you need to sort that shit out. But don't compromise your treatment by mentioning it to GIC. Typically, you'll be denied treatment until you've sorted that out. Instead, sort it out with your sister, with charities, Google drop-ins, for the relevant problem. Even your GP could help out more effectively. You have a lot of time between GIC appointments. Sorting out your red flags is a good use of that time. The GIC doesn't like you to have any mental health issues, but at the same time, they really don't care about it if you do. They won't help you through those problems. They're lackadaisical at best when it comes to following up on them. What we're advising here is for you to conceal mental health issues. What we're advising you to conceal mental health issues? Let us be clear now. The only thing that will come of your disclosure will be an increase in the length of time you'll have to wait, which may compound your initial troubles before being granted treatment, hormone surgery, etc. The majority of mental health issues experienced by trans women arise from not being effectively treated for the gender identity disorder. Thus, effective treatment soothes and gently dissipates a large number of issues. So, like I say, this is what I've got to come, but it's going to be a year away because, like I say, they think back then when they wrote this, it was only 6-8 months. Now it's a year. I think it's 11 or 12 months for the place in Leeds, which I'll be going to. So it's going to be a tough thing, but that's one of the challenges. So yeah, I'm going to leave that for now. But for now, I'm on a good day. I have changed my name. Everything from now on, my name is legally Laura. Isn't that cool? So yeah. So there you go. That's how things are today. And I'll maybe keep you apprised of what's going on. Unfortunately, once I get past that screening appointment, there's really going to be nothing for the best for a year. It might be a year from December that's just gone, but it could also be a year from February when the screening appointment goes on. I have no idea. I'll find out then. So maybe once I've had the appointment, I'll or the screening appointment over the phone, I'll give you an update on it. It might be a couple of days late because I've got some friends visiting right in the middle of that. One of my friends from Maryland is coming over to visit, along with a friend from the south, and we're going to go wander around town and do some other stuff. And I'll be going like this as well. So yeah, so that's it for now. And have a great day. Because I did. Bye.